a frustrating day for you, I know, very limited running on what is a new track as well. What can you tell us about the damage sustained to the car and the hopes to get it fixed, of course, for a very important FP3 tomorrow?
Yeah, really costly mistake from my side, and it is annoying, but all we can do is try and maximize the practice tomorrow. But yeah, the damage was unfortunate that, with the rear impact it damaged the exhaust and also the turbo of the engine, so that's why it was impossible to get everything changed and ready for FP2, so unlucky.
And with the few laps you did manage to do, what did you learn about this track that you can take into what will be a vital session tomorrow?
The track is good, it's challenging. The twisty section around the back is probably the most difficult part to get right. And the track evolution was huge today, so I think I have some catching up to do tomorrow to see how much there's grip.
So a busy day out on track. What did you learn from both sessions, and indeed as well a disrupted FP2? I know that the long run certainly would have been disrupted by the red flags.
Yeah, I think firstly I learned how to drift in P1 because it was pretty slippery out there. It was very tough for all the guys around, and the surface was a big, we don't expect it as a team how rough and how slippery it was, but P2 was a big improvement, and also for us as a team we found the right way of the solution of the setup, so we're up to speed reasonably quick this weekend, so it's a good sign that plenty of work to work, but so far I'm quite enjoying driving this track.
And from the prep you were able to do, certainly in the sim, has any of the actual track surprised you? Are there any key areas to look out for?
Yeah, apart from the layout, it's quite similar, 85-90% similar, but it's more just the surface, the tarmac, how low grip it has been. You miss by the apex by half wheel, you basically just going straight. There's no way to make the corner anymore, and that was the case for all the drivers. So it makes very challenge, but that's probably the biggest surprise so far today.
And obviously your teammate not able to get many laps in at all, no running at all in FP2. How much of your knowledge that you've gained today will you be sharing for the good of Alfa Romeo?
Yeah, that's the key. I try to get as much lap as possible in P2 out there today, and in the end I think we complete reasonably our program even though it's a red flag, so that's always good for the team, because especially when you go to a new track to learn the long runs, how much deck you're going to have is very important. So I think we have enough data, but of course we like to more. It's always better to have two cars, but everything I think should be okay for tomorrow.
Hopefully two cars tomorrow in FP3, and then of course qualifying. What are the expectations there for you?
Yeah, I'm sure he will make it for tomorrow, and qualify. I think I want to continue my momentum in Q2 and have another shot in Q3 maybe. Was unlucky Imola, we missed out with the red flag, so let's see.
George, a raft of upgrades on the car. P1, is it a little early to get too far ahead of ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's we don't really understand it, to be honest, why we were sort of hit the ground running. I think we always knew ahead of this weekend that the conditions should suit us better, because we've been struggling a lot with tyre warm-up, even in Bahrain when the track was really rough, but this is the first real hot race of the season. So for sure that's played a big factor, but yeah, the car's working well, but it's only Friday, not getting too carried away.
I know these upgrades were supposed to give the team an understanding of whether the direction that you were taking was the right one. Do you think you have an answer to that yet?
I'm not too sure, to be honest, because when I got out of FP1, I was straight into the steward's office because of the pit lane incident with Ocon, and then straight into FP2. I was just working with my engineers to maximise the setup, and leaving it to the boffins to work out if this was the direction to go. But I think it's definitely been a really productive day for us, and probably the most productive Friday we've had.
From the outside, porpoising appeared to still be an issue on the long straights. Is it as marked as it was before?
Yeah, I think we know that it will always be there, but maybe it's working at a lower range compared to where we were previously. But yeah, for sure in that high fuel run, I was feeling it, and it didn't seem to be any better. But if we can manage to do that with the car lower to the ground, then obviously we seek the rewards. But as I said, I think everything to sort of, you generally have races that sort of go in your favour, some races that go against you. I think Imola obviously wasn't a strong circuit for us, but so far from what we see, the car was working well around Miami.
And what do you like about the Miami circuit, or do you like the Miami circuit?
Yeah, it's unique. I was a bit unsure how I was going to take to the very slow speed tight section underneath the bridge, and it's still a bit of a headbanger through there. That's the only thing that's a little bit tricky, but for the rest, it's they've done an amazing job. Bit undulating in sections, really high speed corners. I think it's great for the fans as well, and for the people in the hospitality to be able to see through turns 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's providing a bit of a show for everyone, and for us, just get in the car and drive.
P1 at the end of this first day, what would your message be to Mercedes fans who obviously have not had the easiest start to the year?
What I'd say is practice means nothing, and we go again tomorrow.
Lewis, a number of upgrades on the car coming into this weekend. P1 and P4 for the team at the end of FP2. Is it probably a little early to get carried away with the result from practice?
Oh well, practice. It's just practice, so everyone's doing something different in practice. It doesn't really. I don't think everyone's showing their true pace, but tough out there with these temperatures.
The upgrades that you did have on the car for today, I know they were supposed to indicate if the team was moving into the right direction. From what you felt in the car, do you feel that direction is the right one? Have they made the steps and the improvements that you'd hoped?
It feels similar to me, so I think we seem to be quicker here, and later on they were kind of explaining to us that we definitely have improved in some way. I'm not sure where that is, but we still have the bouncing you saw on the other, so we haven't cured it, but I think they're just bit by bit we're improving the car.
Okay. As you said, it's very, very hot out there. The circuit looks quite demanding as well. How did you find driving the new Miami circuit?
Yes, bumpy. It's kind of crazy when you think that like people in this day and age should be able to make a flat road relatively easy, but there's freaking big bumps in so many places where the track like joins up somewhere else. So I don't know if they'll be able to grind that at night and improve it. But otherwise, the track's quite nice to drive, except for the chicane. That's might be the. I don't want to put that quote out there actually, so I'll hold on to that. But it's so tight. It's like it reminds me of being in the B&Q car park when I was 7 years old, in a go-kart going in between cars. It's it's quite that maybe in future they can remove that one and it'll improve the track.
And as you said, very hot as well. Is it physically demanding out there? Will the race be pretty tough?
Yeah, the race is going to be tough, particularly as the tires are overheating and it's very hot out there. Yeah, it's like it's a track where I think today I've already lost a couple kilos. So, and over the next couple of days, another 2 tomorrow or so, and then the race is probably going to be right up there. With it reminds me of driving a little bit like not as fast, but Malaysia.
Really?
KL. It's not far off that. KL is still number 1 in terms of the heat. Then it's Singapore, and then now it's here.
Wow. It's been a very difficult start to the season. I know that. But can you see some little green shoots of recovery, some positivity to come out of today?
There is definitely positive elements to take from today. I mean, I'm still struggling with the car, so George looked great out there. So, but we're trying a lot of different things, and we'll converge and hopefully improve.